You're listening to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. Alfred Bonati, Ethan Euchre, and our senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff. Now, on the phone, we have Dr. Christopher Moore, sports nutrition advisor for Men's Fitness Magazine and consultant to the Discovery Health Channel. Our great friend is here today to talk to us and tell us that sometimes bad foods can put us in bad moods and you can eat your way to happiness.
Pretty crazy, right?
I like the sound of that. The fact that I can eat, we're always supposed to be trying to watch what we eat. You're telling me I can eat my way to be happiness and not feel bad.
Exactly.
Tell us more.
I could do the same thing. I've done that before, but I think we're probably talking about different things here. We want to make sure that we're actually eating
chocolate?
to long-term happiness, not acute happiness.
Oh, okay.
So explain a little bit more about that. I mean, what kind of foods lead to the bad moods? I know. Here's one example from my own life. Is my wife's Italian. She cooks with raw garlic a lot, which I love. I absolutely love garlic. But then it doesn't put me in a bad mood, but it keeps me awake at night. Like I sweat. It makes me. I can't sleep. And it's only when I eat garlic. The weird thing.
Maybe your wife has the bad mood after that.
I was going to say, it might keep your wife, especially because the smell from the garlic as well.
No, that's because he's not Italian.
That's right. Yeah, because I'm not Italian. It gives me bad dreams.
But it's interesting, and garlic is certainly amazing for you. I'm not sure about keeping you up at night and that correlation, but definitely great for you health-wise. The one thing I'm actually talking about in terms of, again, long-term mood improvement is actually omega-3 fats. Okay. And omega-3 fats are one of the primary fats within our brains. Our brains are primarily fatty tissues. And unfortunately, omega-3 fats have the intake has declined over the years, and people are eating less and less. It comes from fish primarily, but unfortunately, it's not seeing its way to many dinner tables anymore.
And why is that? I mean, people just, I know personally, I just don't really like seafood, so I don't eat it that much. Why aren't people getting this omega-3 acid in their diet?
Right. Well, again, like you're certainly not, it's not rare for people to, like you, to not like fish. And that's the primary source. In terms of, there's a few different omega-3 fats, and two of the three omega-3s are found in fish. So if people aren't eating them, like you, and very, very common not to be eating them regularly, it's very challenging to get from the diet in other ways. So some food sources have other omega-3s, but again, the specific two that come from fish and fish oil, unfortunately, it's usually not the first choice that's making it to our dinner table.
And what I find really interesting here, Dr. Moore, I'm reading in the prep, is that you're saying that the reason we don't get it in our diet as much as before is because of what ranchers feed their cattle? Well,
it's interestingly, a lot of times, what would feed cattle and chickens and so on, and even a lot of farmed fish are actually grains. So the problem with that, I think some grains are fine for people, but the problem with that is grains are high in something called omega-6 fats, and omega-6 fats can lead to increase in inflammation. Well, cattle were not normally, back in the day, they weren't normally raised on grains. They were normally grass-fed and just let out to pasture. Well, the problem with that, again, if they're eating more grains, they're getting more of those omega-6 fats. And omega-6 fats, again, can lead to an increase in inflammation. And that could affect affect us mentally and just health-wise in general. So there's lots of pieces to the puzzle, but again, moral of the story is we need to add some more fish in. In addition, and especially if you don't eat fish or like fish, adding an omega-3 supplement is certainly a wise idea.
So you can just basically go to GNC or some kind of, fitness store and buy these omega-3s, and that'll keep me from having to eat disgusting salmon. It tastes horrible.
I don't agree on the disgusting salmon part. However, it certainly would be a way to get those omega-3s. Of course, there are other benefits from fish as well. But, salmon, tuna, there's other fish, sardines, anchovies, and others that are good as well. I'm assuming if you don't like salmon, you probably wouldn't be choosing sardines or anchovies either. But you never know.
Come on pizza?
No.
Okay.
Oh man.
Although you know what I gotta say though, occasionally I get a Greek salad.
Yes.
And they do put anchovies on it, and I ate one without knowing that it was an anchovy.
And you liked it,
and it
and
wasn't
you know
bad.
it.
It was like
See?
it was salty.
I think it's a mental barrier we have to work through.
Yes.
We need a psychologist on the air next time.
Perfect.
Do you know one? Because I have a lot of problems that I need sorting out, my friend.
That's a whole other show, Dr. Moore.
Now, what are some of
and
the
a lot more than just a few minutes.
Exactly. Take a whole show.
what are some of the bad
But yeah,
foods?
so kind of going back to your point, fish oil supplements. You can get them at a GNC or any kind of health food store. Certainly, some are better than others, and some have a very high concentration of those omega-3s. And then the other piece is getting a high quality one with other, making sure there's no contaminants or other things that shouldn't be in your supplement in your supplement.
Got it. Why don't you tell us what some of those bad foods are?
Sure. We one of the common ones that I guess that we see a lot now is our added sugars, and you've probably certainly heard about those in the diet. And we're eating way too many of those, from kids all the way to adults. And so added sugars, that's not the sugar that's naturally found in fruits. This isn't an excuse to not eat fruit anymore.
Okay.
But these are the added sugars, like the things that you get, add to
Candy
your
bar?
coffee or your lattes with 17,000 pumps of syrup, or
Chili chocolate?
all of those kind of things are those added sugars. Yep,
Chili.
exactly.
Chili?
The
What is-
desserts and
Hang on a second.
What is
Dr.
chili
Moore.
chocolate?
She's
for
talking
God's
about
sake?
chili.
Dark chocolate. It's a candy bar.
With chili
it's
peppers?
Wonderful. Somehow it's the dark chocolate mixed with the pepper, which we heard pepper was good for you. But I guess it's everything in moderation, right?
Well, that's the
Dr.
key.
Moore?
Again, when I say reducing added, it's reducing added sugars. I'm not saying never eat an added sugar again in your life. I like you. I love the dark chili, the chili with the dark chocolate. I just had some the other night. So again, it's just it's a couple pieces or a piece or so. It's not 17 bars of that. So it's moderation. And what's interesting is you bring up the dark chocolate piece. And yes, there are some health benefits to dark chocolate, but that doesn't mean a king size Three Musketeers bar is also healthy.
True.
So we need to keep things in perspective and remember that the truth that foods being good for you and wishing or hoping they were good for you are very often two different things.
Always, often.
True.
Two different things. All right, well, we appreciate you joining us, as always, a regular here at American Medicine Today. Dr. Christopher Moore, sports nutrition advisor for Men's Fitness Magazine. Again, appreciate you joining us. Have a great day, sir.
Likewise, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Talk
We'll
to you
have you
next
back
time.
some other time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I always
I like
enjoy
that
him
guy.
as a guest.
he's
He's
Chili
great.
chocolate? I
Chili
just can't get that out of my mind now.
I
It's
guess
a dream.
We know what to get her for Christmas now.
The thought of it makes me so happy. You're listening to American Medicine Today on News Radio 970 WFLA. And
That'll do it.
Brought to you by
that's
Chili
it.
Chocolate.
Watch us on ABC WFTS Channel 28 from 7 to 7:30. We'll see you next week. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail. The Bonatti Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at bonatti.com.